Welcome back, baseball family, to another episode of the Baseball Together podcast. Today, we're going to go over current events, and we're going to update you on everything that has happened in the hot stove. We hope you're already having a happy new year, and that is what you'll get out of this show. 9+ Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Again, welcome back, baseball family. I am Brig, and as always, I'm joined by Brad the Man.
Hi, I'm here. Happy New Year, everybody.
Blackjack Brad is in the house, everybody, and we're not sure he's not going to offend someone in the first episode of the 2020 Baseball Together season, but he may. So we get very excited about that opportunity. I'll tee it up. I'll tee it right up. But before we get too out of control, we should be, well, I scratched that. Let's celebrate like crazy first, okay? Because we have a very exciting piece of news to talk about. We want to talk about Bianca Smith being hired by the Red Sox organization to be the first ever black female coach in baseball. Hallelujah. This is fantastic.
It is. It's amazing. It's just an avalanche of women coming into the game, and you heard the glass ceiling shatter, and it's opened the floodgates, and it's fantastic. Absolutely amazing.
I love it. Yeah, I love everything about it. I really was thrilled to see this headline come across, to learn more about her. So I got a couple of details about her. She was the director of baseball operations at Case Western Reserve University. Then she was the assistant coach at the University of Dallas, assistant coach and hitting coach at Carroll University, and she has had internships with both Cincinnati and Texas, so in the front offices there. So her pedigree goes all the way back. She knows what she's doing. She's here to stay, and this is very, very cool for baseball.
It really is, yeah. And you know, here's something I think is really cool, is that it's only a matter of time before we see the first female manager. I mean, we heard that Jessica Mendoza was being considered for the Mets because she's been in the front office for several years. And, I thought it would have been really cool if she had actually gotten hired. She didn't. That's fine. We'll move on. But in the NBA, we've seen Becky Hammon, who is on the bench in NBA games as an assistant coach. And she made her first appearance as the head coach when Greg Popovich got ejected. So I think it's only a matter of time before we see a woman in the dugout who gets a chance to run the show when the manager gets tossed. I mean, I think we're probably only
great perspective.
2, maybe 3 years away from this happening, and it's going to be a major event, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome because you're right. Bench coach, that's not that far away from where we are right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with women in baseball. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Really
so
cool.
Congratulations to Bianca. Way to go, Boston. I can't believe I just celebrated the Red Sox, but I did. I can't think of a better reason to celebrate the Red Sox for the first time in my whole life.
And probably the last.
Whoa. Excuse me while I deal with these emotions. Just kidding. So, okay. Moving on. Ian Happ. Ian Happ has some perspective he's wanting to offer about the owners groups and their financial hardships following the 2020 season. Brad, can you tell us a little more about this?
So according to Ian Happ, for those of you who don't know, Chicago Cubs outfielder, basically what he's saying is the financial losses that the owners are claiming have been greatly exaggerated. Because this is what he said in an interview with the Dan Bernstein show on 670 AM. He said, "You don't really see the players coming out and saying that we took a 63% loss this year. That's not the narrative from the players because we didn't lose any real money. Guys still got paid." And then he goes on to say, "So it's really tough to claim loss when it's just money that wasn't realized." So basically what he's saying is you didn't lose any money because it wasn't there. All it was just projected funds. You lost projected funds. So I think that the players actually have a legitimate case here because we've heard owners saying, "Oh my gosh, we're so poor. We lost so much money." It's like, well, no, you just didn't make it. You didn't lose it. You never got it. So I think he's got a legitimate argument there.
Yeah, he does. But and to play devil's advocate, the only difference I would say is that a corporate revenue cycle does overlap on purpose, and you do have to have projections, and you do track profits and losses in at different times, and it is built on a projection schedule especially at this level, right, where this is high level business, corporate finance. So yes, projections, they do have some complaints, but they also, if they're capable of projecting that far into the future, and if they're capable of managing their business on fantasy, right, on expectations and hopes, then they should also be capable of, tightening it up, and they are. And to their credit, we're seeing that. We just don't like the way they're doing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's coming with player spending, which honestly, like, I do expect that, because if you know you're not going to have money coming in, you're going to be cheaper, right? You're not going to spend as much money. So I can see that on the owner's perspective of like, okay, we don't know what this year's going to be like. We don't know how much money we're not going to earn. So let's be a little bit more frugal in free agency. But you got guys like, we're going to get to this a little bit later, you got guys like Trevor Bauer who are just seeking a regular old contract like it's any old year. And it's like, dude, I love you, but probably not going to happen this year. It's like,
do you think he wants a regular old contract, or do you think he thinks he's worth more than he's asking?
Well, I mean like a regular old contract for a guy like him, because he's looking for 35 to 40 million over 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, a
which
year
is a lot of
over
money.
5 or 6 years. So he's looking for about 200 mil or so.
Right.
So
yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay,
he wants
yeah,
A-Rod money.
Like in a regular year, somebody would pay that because he's a very good pitcher. He can anchor your staff.
Yes.
But in a year where there's so much uncertainty about how much money teams are actually going to be making, I wouldn't be spending that kind of money. I wouldn't want my team spending that kind of money.
Right.
So no, like I get what he's saying, that you didn't earn the money, so you didn't lose it. But then I also understand what you're saying when you're being devil's advocate of like, you're projecting to make this money and we lost based on the projections, right? Lost compared to last year, So I understand that part of it, but I also feel like he's not far off, that they did bring money in. It's not like they spent all that money and didn't bring anything in. So.
Well, exactly. But what they lost was the gamble, because when you do that, you're gambling, right? Yeah, and they did lose. So
it's
crazy. I see it on both sides. I think the owners whine a lot, and I don't like that. So I really hate to play devil's advocate.
You would
on
think
behalf
that the
of
owners were sitting waiting for their $600 stimulus checks, to be honest. Like that's how
right,
they make it feel.
That's exactly how it sounds. Man, what's that children's story about the boy in Denmark who puts his finger in the hole in the dam?
Oh, I can't remember. The one that I immediately think of is on Bridesmaids, when Kristen Wiig's sitting up in first class, and Rose Byrne is like, she doesn't get to sit in first class often. Just let her have my seat. And she's like, help me, I'm poor. That's what I think of with the owners. Help me, I'm poor. No, you're not.
That's right. No, knock it off. Oh, my word. That's awesome.
Anyway, so moving on, we talked about Ian Happ with the Cubs. Let's talk a little bit more about the Cubs. John Shambi, or Boog Shambi, formerly now of ESPN, is going to be calling Cubs games. And Brig, the question I have for you is, has ESPN hit an all-time low by letting go of Boog Shambi?
Well, the simple answer is yeah.
That's what I put in the notes.
Yep.
I'm glad you saw that.
Yep. Super yep. But I will say I do like the departure from the national level back to the local level. I think that is what should happen. I think the teams should have the excellent commentators and play-by-play.
They should, yeah, because he's the only guy on ESPN that I actually listen to as far as play-by-play.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Because everybody else they have is not
I don't
good.
think it's a bad thing.
Well, right. That's the thing, is it's good for him, because I'll tell you what, it's good for the Cubs, because I'm going to be listening to more Cubs games now.
For sure.
Throughout the year, especially like day games, I'll for sure turn on a Cubs game because I want to listen to Boog Shambi.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to be muting every single game I watch on ESPN now. So
well, until they bring in someone super awesome, which
well,
would
they don't have
be-
anybody super awesome right now. I'll tell you that much.
I know. I know. Hey, you know what? Maybe they could do.
What's that?
Maybe they could pick up Didi Gregorius. I mean, he's a free agent.
Do you think he could do play-by-play?
I don't. He's the most entertaining player. He's one of the most entertaining players in the game right now.
Yeah, I
He
think
has
he
a
would be
flair
more of a
for
color
marketing.
guy, though. He would be
Yeah,
more of
for
an analyst than he would be a play-by-play guy, though. I don't know that he could
Okay,
necessarily step in and take over for what is it, El Oso Rojo? Is that what they call him, the red panda?
yeah, yeah. What about Liam Hendricks? I only bring him up because he's also a free agent and needs a job. You know,
everybody
that's
you're
all.
talking about, though, those would all be analysts. They would all be color guys. They wouldn't be a play-by-play guy.
I know.
That's the bummer thing.
I know you're right.
mean,
It's hard to do.
it is. It's hard to be good at it. There's a reason I don't do it and never had any desire to do it, because it's difficult. But I still critique them because I want to listen to somebody good. So that's the way that's going to be.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, let's go ahead and take
Thanks
a quick
for being
break. When we get
honest.
back, we're going to get into the Hot Stove League.
No matter which ballpark you're at, you want to rep your team. Now you can with 9+ Us. Welcome to the Big City Series. With every design available in your team's colors, you can fit in with the home crowd or stand out on the road. Either way, we have the colors you crave. Shop the Big City Series and find designs that rep your favorite baseball podcast, cheer from the cheap seats, and much more. Shop the Big City Series only at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. So it's the Hot Stove League season, and I honestly I love all the transactions that happen during the off season. I used to be so bored by it, but I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and just more interested in how a team is put together or what. But man, every year when free agency comes, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I just get so excited. So,
Brad,
we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today because there's a lot going on. I mean, we'll get to them in just a minute, but dude, the Padres, holy moly. All right. So, there's a little tease for you. Anyway, let's start with Yasiel Puig. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so this is a guy who I actually find really interesting because he's a tremendous talent. He's like, I mean, they call him the wild horse for a reason, right?
Yeah.
That he's just kind of this raw talent that's out there, just can't be broken. Nobody knows you don't know what he's going to do next. He's one of those guys where he gets a ground ball in the outfield. He could either throw it over the center field fence from right field, or he could throw it to first and gun the guy down, get the runner out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You don't know what's going to happen. It's like Bull Durham. I don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what he's going to do. Which has kind of caused him some problems, right?
Yes.
So, Brig, your Yankees are looking at him?
Yes.
So, I'm curious how that would work out. As a Yankees fan, how do you feel like that would work out, A, in the clubhouse, and B, just generally with what you've referred to me as white-collar baseball?
Well, it is white-collar baseball, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, okay, let's compare clubhouse options. Would you rather have a DJ LeMahieu or a Yasiel Puig in your clubhouse?
Well, that's pretty. I mean, I definitely rather have a DJ.
Right. And I'm not even talking about on the field. That has nothing to do
Right.
with
No, yeah,
play.
strictly in the clubhouse. Yeah. I mean, you've got one guy who is kind of unhinged in the clubhouse a little bit. I mean, we've heard of him just ducking his head into poking his head into a press conference saying bleep the media and then leaving.
Yep.
That doesn't seem like a very DJ LeMahieu kind of thing to do.
No, it's not. So then, okay, let me make it a little more fair. You get a guy with a whole bunch of personality like Didi Gregorius. Would you rather have him in the clubhouse versus Yasiel Puig?
I still think I'd rather take Didi over Puig because he's still a team player, right?
Yes. I'm softballing them in here, bro. These are ridiculous questions.
How about this? I've got one for you. I've got one for you. Would you rather have Giancarlo Stanton now in right field or Yasiel Puig?
Well, Aaron Judge should be in right field, so that's not even a problem.
Well, okay. Well,
but okay.
When Giancarlo Stanton is healthy, he's in right field. Because wasn't Judge moved over to center field when Stanton was playing this year?
No, they moved Stanton to left.
Oh, did they?
And
okay.
It was an issue.
So
okay, here's the question: do you think the real question is? Do you think Yasiel Puig could play left field? That's the real question.
I think he could, because left field, like, typically, of all the outfielders, I feel like the left fielder has the worst arm, but Puig's got a cannon.
Yeah.
So if you've got him over there in left field, you still got a pretty good left fielder. It's just a matter of him adjusting to the ball off the bat on that side of the outfield.
Yep. That first jump, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say he can adequately adjust. Let's say he can get a better read on it at left field, or at least a halfway decent read on it.
Mm-hmm.
His bat is unquestionable, right? I mean, when he's on, he's super on. So what the question then becomes?
Yeah.
Do you want his influence in the clubhouse? That's it. That's what it all comes down to. And
yeah, that's true.
He can't be having blue mohawks in New York. It's just not going to work.
Well, and who knows? Maybe that kind of reels him in. Because he has said that he wants to work on some of his bad habits. And maybe not being able to have a mohawk period will reel him in.
Right. And so I think back.
You know, if the Yankees say, we're willing to pay you this much money. If you come in, you step in line, you have a normal haircut. We don't do mohawks in New York.
Right.
And you come and you work. We run a business here.
Right.
You know, you come and you get started when you're supposed to. You leave whenever you're done at the end of the day. And I wonder if maybe that kind of structure would be good for him.
So it has been good for other people in the past in New York who have these larger-than-life personalities and get kind of like, even if they're short-term contracts, they get kind of reined in. They're forced to toe the line a little bit. And the New York gets a lot out of them. You know, I mean, it just is what it is. It's a make or break scenario. And I think with Yasiel Puig, the whole league is wondering what is going to happen. So, because he's just been bouncing around. So maybe this is the best thing for him. Maybe he's so good and it's all untapped right now because he's doing this wild child thing that maybe, you know, he gets his number retired in New York one day. I don't know. He's got tons of career left. Tons.
He does. Yeah, he's still really young. And here's the thing, too, is that this is another way that things could go sideways for him in New York, is the fans.
Yeah.
He's a very emotional player. Yeah. And if he goes in a slump and those fans are letting him hear it, I don't know how he would react to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Milton Bradley, who had a pretty decent career, his career ended in Seattle because he was playing terribly and he could not handle the heckling from the fans. He was going up to the plate with earplugs in.
Yep.
So that he didn't have to hear the fans.
Well,
and his career ended shortly after.
What about Sonny Gray? Sonny Gray's another example. He just couldn't hack the pressure, and it broke him. Whereas when he was playing in Oakland and New York would travel to Oakland, he tore us to pieces.
Mm-hmm. Well, going to in Cincinnati now, he's one of the top. He's one of the top two guys on that staff this last year. You know, and the other guy was the Cy Young Award winner.
Exactly.
You know? So he plays well in smaller markets, and I don't know how Puig would take a big market like that.
I don't know either. Well, he played in L.A.
Yeah, but L.A.'s different. People are pretty chill in L.A.
Yeah,
New York's just so uptight.
You're right. I mean, in L.A. they throw paper airplanes onto the field. In New York, it's like
they go get
it's
tacos.
like pejorative slurs and like hate mail, like audible hate mail.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But in LA, it's very different.
They throw the best paper airplanes in L.A. Okay. Do I think
They do throw the best paper airplanes in LA.
This is my
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Listen.
Anyway, all right. Let's go on to George Springer. Okay.
Did we just spend 10 minutes
No.
about Yahtzee Puig?
We did. I can't believe it. I was like, and I was sitting here before, like, are we gonna have enough stuff to cover our time? Yeah, we're gonna have to start skipping.
Yes.
Unreal.
Oh my gosh.
Unreal. Anyway, George Springer. Okay, now, so he rejected a qualifying offer from the Astros, which I was kind of like, you know what? I don't blame him because he probably feels like he's gonna get that kind of money somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, I bet you those guys are. I don't know if any of those guys are going to be re-signing. Any of those big four. Like, you got Springer right now. Then you're going to have Correa, Altuve, and Bregman. Yeah. I'm not sure if any of those guys are going to re-sign because of the stink that is attached to the Astros. Like, their names and the Astros. They're going to want to go somewhere else to prove that they can play without cheating. Yep. And the Astros are going to stink again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you know? That's
exactly what's going to happen.
And so... So when I saw Springer rejected that offer, I was like, yeah, that's probably the best thing for him. And I know that the Blue Jays really, really want him.
Oh, can you imagine him and the Blue Jays?
Really want him.
Oh, man.
That lineup is going to be so dangerous because he's a great leadoff hitter. Like, I don't like him just because he hits a leadoff home run every time he plays the Mariners. But, man, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. That's something you could bet on and win every single time. But... yeah, he'd be dangerous in Toronto.
Yep.
For sure. Especially with those huge alleys out there. Yeah, he'd be
for sure. Time. No, I like that. And he'll bring
I think
ton of experience to the younger crowd there, the younger team.
Uh-huh. Teach them how to win. You'd be like, well, you know, we don't do this part of winning, but we can do this part of winning without it.
I wondered.
So we're partway there.
I wondered if you were going to say the teach them how to win thing. I was... It was just too good. Okay, JT Realmuto.
It's in the repertoire, you know.
JT Realmuto also rejected his qualifying offer.
I think that was the dumbest thing he could have done, honestly.
Yes.
Like, I would not have rejected that. That is guaranteed money in an uncertain year. Take that money and run with it, especially with a good team like the Phillies. Yeah, I don't understand that. And, you know, maybe he was worried about uncertainty in the front office. There was something going on there. I don't know. Or he felt just so disrespected by not getting an extension during the season that he was like, nope, I'm out. But, man, I could not believe that.
It's definitely – to me, it's very clearly emotional. Something personal has happened.
It has to be. It's the only explanation. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And it's too bad, but –
But pretty much everybody and their mother is offering money to Realmuto. I did see that it said – so the headline that I saw said that they table offers to Realmuto, and I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean they're putting them on the table or they're tabling them like
holding off?
Not offering. Right. Yeah. And there was no – I mean, obviously I didn't read the article. I just was scrolling down looking for news. But – I wonder if they're tabling those like they're holding off on him because he wants too much money, and everybody's like, well, I don't know how much money we're going to have.
Right. So, well, and that's back to what you were saying earlier.
Oh, check this out.
Okay.
Let me digress back to Springer real quick. This came down 8 minutes ago. It says Blue Jays give Springer a 5-year offer under $150 million asking price.
Whoa.
They're
lowballing him.
They're lowballing him, and I think he's going to take
it, honestly.
For
5 years?
Because I think he will. 5 years, that's a nice long contract, and in 5 years he'll still be I mean he's 31 right now. So he could probably get a comparable deal for 4 years. When he's 36.
And if there's definitely
I mean he'll have to stay in the American League cuz he'll be DHing, but He's not going to be the same center
For
fielder,
sure.
but man,
I would
I'd take it.
I would take it. Especially if it's the only one on the table. I wonder if they gave him a time limit. Like, I wonder if something in the back office is like, all right, you got 3 days. Because that's hardball. I mean, they're playing hardball, so why would they not be playing hard all the way around?
Yeah, so it looks like the Mets are the only other team, but they don't have an offer out yet.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, I think Springer's going to Blue Jays.
Oh,
going to the Blue Jays.
Okay.
Looks like that's going to happen.
I love it. I love it entirely.
Yep.
That actually makes me really happy because a team that needs a guy like that and a guy that needs a team like that, this is what hot stove season is all about, like matchmaking, right? It's like it's like arranged marriages. It's fun.
Yes, it is. It is. Absolutely.
And then you got your guys like DJ LeMahieu,
100%.
whose parents did everything they could to set them up with a great deal and a superb offer. And you know what? They just went, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want. Thanks for the new car. Right? When my Sweet 16, you got me a Spider. And now, that dated me. You got me a... Hold on, back up. You got the Jeep Wrangler I always wanted. There you go. And they're like, okay, now we found this great match for you. And yeah. Anyway, I'll stop the metaphor. But the point is, DJ LeMahieu has rejected the qualifying offer from the Yankees. This is not new information, obviously, but what is new is that nothing is new. Nothing has happened. And I wonder, Brad, my question to you about DJ is, will he be one of those holdouts will he be the last guy to get signed, or is he going to get scooped up in this next week or two?
I think it'll be a couple weeks. I think, quite honestly, I think he's going to LA. He's going to be a Dodger. And I think they're just working out the last little kinks of that deal. That's just me personally. I don't know anything like inside whatever because I don't know any of that stuff. But personally, in my gut, I feel like
why?
That's what's gonna happen.
Why is please back that up while I vomit into my sweatshirt.
Okay. So the Yankees the last couple years have been like up and down as they come.
Yeah.
Right? Like the highs have been really, really high. The lows have been really, really low. And then come the playoffs, it just doesn't seem to work out. You know, this year is a chance to prove everybody wrong about the Astros and everything, you know, about the last few years, and they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't make it through the playoffs. The Dodgers, on the other hand, have consistently been the best team in baseball. Yeah. You know, it remains to be seen in the playoffs sometimes, and, you know, a lot of people are going to hold the shortened season against them, but it was an even playing field, so you shouldn't. But they've gone on some of the longest winning streaks that we have seen in the last 2-3 years. They are a steady hand. You're almost guaranteed to win to some degree in LA. And I think he's a guy who just wants to win, wants to go out there, do his job. He's not doesn't have to carry a team offensively because he and Luke Voit were the only consistent, like the only guys who were consistent at all on the Yankees this year. And if he's a Dodger, he doesn't have to do that. He's got guys around him who can help carry the load. He's got guys on base all the time who he can drive in. If he's hitting 1 or 2 behind Mookie Betts, all he's got to do is hit a ball in the gap. He doesn't have to hit a home run. You know, which you know, a DJ LeMahieu home run is not outside of the realm of possibility, obviously. But a DJ LeMahieu double is
super
excellent as well.
Possible.
You know. So I feel like he's going to go to the Dodgers just because he wants to win. I don't know if it's necessarily a money thing. I think that they're probably, like I said, just working out some of the final details. But because they've been working on it for a little while, but I think that's what's going to happen.
What position would he play?
Second base.
Yep. Okay, fine. I agree with you.
Kike Hernandez
He's
is
out.
out.
He gone. Why you gotta? You're so mean.
Yeah,
I just want him to stay in New York so bad. I know you don't, and it makes me literally heartsick. I'm like, no, but whatever. It's not about me right now, okay? It's not about me. Let's get on to Marcus Simeone. Marcus Simeone's in Oakland, not L.A., and he's bouncing around last couple of years as a shortstop. He needs to find a home, and who plays shortstop in Cincinnati right now?
We talked about this. It was that young kid. I can't remember his name right now, but they're looking to upgrade in Cincinnati. So it doesn't seem like he is their any part of their long-term plan. So I think I could see Marcus Simeone as maybe a third option, because like we talked about, you've got Lindor and Story, Francisco Lindor and Trevor Story, who are possibilities as well.
Those are the three hotshot shortstops out there, right? So who's in the market for a shortstop? We've got Cleveland, Cincinnati, both New York teams. Oakland, if they lose Marcus Simeone, which they are prepared to do, and that's.
Do the Angels need a shortstop?
Well,
I know Andrelton Simmons is gone, but I can't remember if
I don't know
shortstop or not.
So maybe we'll throw Anaheim in there too. But so, who would you rather have, Francisco Lindor, Marcus Simeone, or Trevor Story?
Honestly, I think for the price tag, I would probably rather have Trevor Story, just because he's a really good shortstop, but he's not going to come with the price tag of Lindor, Because, I mean, obviously, like, if money was not an issue,
of course, but we have to speak practically.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think, though, I think Story, while he's going to be more expensive than Simeone, I think that Story's your guy.
So I agree, and which team's going to get Story, then, is the real question.
I don't know, because he's not a free agent, is he? That's a trade.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah, he's not a free agent. Huh. Interesting. Well, my brain's going a million miles an hour. I'm like, all right, so if the Yankees move...
I know, there's so many different things. I mean, there's a reason I am not a GM or anything.
No, I'm not in a front office somewhere. We could be, probably. I don't know.
Holy moly.
The point is, it's like chess, right? It's like,
I like to sleep
too much. Yeah, I saw Moneyball. Nah, no thanks.
I like to get more sleep than what those guys
it's like
get. I don't want
being on Wall Street, but with baseball.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Exactly
Marcus
right.
Simeone's on the move. We don't know where he's going to end up. Marcell Ozuna also on the move. He's a free agent. Let's just go through the list of free agents that we have listed here. Didi Gregorius, Liam Hendricks, Blake Trinan, and Masahiro Tanaka. Yeah,
Ooh,
he's headed back to Japan. You just watch. Yeah.
Is he? You think so?
I do.
Man, I'd take him
I know
in
you
Seattle,
would. And you can have him.
Because the pitching has been atrocious, and he's been better than what's been there. So, like, have him come in and kind of mentor the young guys for 2 years. And I think he's got a good thing going.
Kind of like King Felix option to the Braves, kind of like that. Only more.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, and you've got to have him take a discount, because you're not going to pay him the kind of money that he's been getting or anything, or possibly even what he could get in Japan. But you bring him in, have him mentor guys, teach him what it means to work hard and win. Because, I mean, we talked about this before where Cliff Lee was, I don't remember if we actually had this conversation, but Cliff Lee came into Seattle, and he really taught Felix Hernandez, like, what it means to work hard and become a better pitcher, because nobody on the pitching staff or on the coaching staff was doing that for him at the time. And, we've had a complete turnover of pretty much everybody in that clubhouse since then. So I don't think that's still going on. But to have somebody on the field who can teach that, I think that'd be perfect for that young staff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. I like that.
I'd take him.
Marcus Stroman.
Anyway, so like
What?
kind of like a player coach, but sorry, no,
He accepted
go ahead.
the
Marcus
qualifying
Stroman.
offer with the Mets. So he's the one that has accepted. But Trevor Bauer, I guess, is the last one that's really needs to be talked about. And we've touched on him a couple of times, but he's asking for a lot of money.
It really is. It's a ton of money, and he's got an agent who's not going to back down because part of it is she's trying to establish herself in major leagues.
Well, and she's doing a pretty great job.
So she is. She's doing an excellent job. So I mean, I'm not knocking her at all. I think she's great and she's doing great things. But yeah, I don't think they're going to settle.
So where does he end up then?
Like, oh man, I would have said, you know what? Last week I would have said San Diego.
It's not going to be.
He and Mike Clevenger are like brothers. Clevenger's going to be out this year with Tommy John surgery, and I could have seen Bauer going and kind of taking his spot in the rotation this year, and then next year, could you imagine those two
upsetting.
in that rotation? Holy moly.
Well, it's not upsetting because I want to see the Padres go, but
I'd like to see the Padres do well, but yeah, like I don't know where he's going to go. They're doing a pretty good job of concealing it. I think I do think the Yankees are on the table.
That's what I was just going to say.
Because they're going to pay for him. I think the Mets are also
exactly
on the table
what I was
because
gonna
they're
say.
going to pay for him. He's not going to go back to Cincinnati because he wants too much money. I think San Diego might still be on the table. I don't know for sure just because of the Snell thing, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But man, could you imagine that?
It wouldn't be fair. Let's do one last. I'm gonna do a cliffhanger before we go because somebody just gave up one of their starting pitchers, and maybe Trevor Bauer ends up in Chicago. And with that, let's take a break.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me. Root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9pluss.com.
All right, baseball family, left you with a little bit of a tease there at the end of that segment because the Chicago Cubs somehow have decided that it was a good idea to get rid of Victor Caratini and Yu Darvish, along with non-tendering Kyle Schwarber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, just for context. And then they traded Yu Darvish, Victor Caratini to the Friars. They're going to San Diego, which is terrifying for everyone who will ever play San Diego. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean for Chicago? Well, and guess what, Brad, tell us what they got for their deal, Brad.
A 6-pack and a bag of balls? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get much, if anything, in return. So that says one of two things to me. Either the Cubs really wanted to get rid of Yu Darvish for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason would be. Or two, they have no intention on winning this year and they're going to rebuild. Because you don't let go of a guy like that if you are trying to win.
No.
And we've heard the Cubs say, they've mentioned Chris Bryant's name in trade talks. They've mentioned, Wilson Contreras, I think, was mentioned the last week or two in trade talks.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man.
And then 7 years ago, we heard one Javi Baez rumor that has since been dispelled. But when they non-tendered Kyle Schwarber, I was like, what?
I know.
That was like the shot across the bow. We all know Chris Bryant is on his way out as quickly as possible, but that's no surprise. I think we were surprised the first time we heard that, like 17 years ago, but now it's like not a big deal.
We've all gotten used to it,
which
it's still funny to me. Like
baseball,
I don't know if there's something about Chris Bryant that rubs the front office the wrong way. Like, is it the ownership? Is it the guys who were under Theo Epstein? Was it Theo Epstein? Like, is there something about that guy that they just don't like off the field? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know him, so I don't know what it would be. But it's so weird to me that they would just constantly throw his name around in trade talks. Just like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of one of our franchise third baseman. Who would like him?
Okay, has it improved his performance at all? Is my question, because I can see that being somewhat of a like last ditch motivation effort.
I don't think it has. I don't know that there's necessarily.
I don't think it has
I don't
either.
know there's
I'm just trying to figure out why they would do
There's
it.
been all that stuff coming out, but
No.
I don't know. But
So the real question is, does Trevor Bauer end up sliding into Yu Darvish's spot in Chicago?
I don't think so. Just because, like I said, it doesn't
Oh.
seem like getting rid of Yu Darvish does not seem like the move that a team who's looking to win now is going to make. So I don't think they're going to pay Trevor Bauer money to not win now. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good
Maybe
point.
the White Sox.
Maybe
So
the White
could
Sox
end up on the south side, because they're in win now mode. That's why. They fired Renteria.
Yes.
Was because he was. I was actually talking to somebody who's kind of in with some White Sox insiders. So it's like talking to a White Sox outsider who's in with insiders. Does that make sense? So he said that Renteria was hired on as basically a bridge between losing and winning. That he was never supposed to be the manager to take that team to the World Series. That he was going to get them to where they needed to be to get ready to win. So he was kind of like the training wheels, and now that the training wheels are set to come off, they fired him. And that's why they brought in La Russa.
Well, that's pretty rough.
That's pretty brutal. Yeah. Yeah.
And especially to be replaced by Tony La Russa.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean,
like when Tony's gone, what are they going to say about Tony? Yeah, well, here's why we brought him in.
and why we didn't fire him when they were
we
issues
needed
day one.
We needed the help I've fallen and I can't get up infomercial money.
Maybe they were worried about an ageism suit.
You're right. There it is. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what it is. Yep.
I don't know.
For all you HR people out there, you're welcome. We get it.
But
anyway,
no, I could see the White Sox pony up the money for Bauer, not the Cubs.
I could too. Yeah. But honestly, I think Trevor Bauer's going to end up in the Mets or the Yankees. I think he'll end up in New York one way or another.
He's not a dummy. He knows the money to be made.
That's what I think. Yeah.
But
neither is his agent.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Padres though. We've talked about them here and there. Like, so they got you Darvish for like nothing. And then Brig,
just a bunch of prospects.
and then they go and trade for a guy who didn't want to be traded for in the first place, traded for Blake Snell. So the Padres, who had a pretty good pitching staff last year, now has a great pitching staff, and those bats to go with it. I mean, we're calling them. We weren't calling them Slam Diego for nothing. You know, I mean, we know they can hit.
Yeah,
And it's not just hitting home runs. Obviously, it's getting on base. So that's dangerous. I mean,
Yeah, it's all about OBP out there. It's awesome.
It's fantastic. And I'm I've been saying for a while now, watch out for the Padres. I mean, do we need to make a T-shirt? Watch out for San Diego, because they're coming, and they're coming hard.
It's brown. Yes. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll make a T-shirt. It's brown, and in yellow it just says "Watch out."
There you go. I like it. Let's do it. You can see it on the shop.
Hashtag you heard it here first. Yeah,
but
give me a couple days.
But for reals though, I mean they're dangerous. They're scary. They're coming for the Dodgers. They're not just going to roll over and let the Dodgers take the West.
No,
they're not just going to be happy with a wild card berth into the
they're
playoffs.
sick of doing that. Yeah, exactly. They're fed up with that. They've been doing that, and it's over. And it makes me really happy.
They might just be young and dumb enough to not know better.
And exactly. That's exactly what I think it is.
So,
and I say bravo, dilly dilly, and what? Get after it.
Yes, very good, very much, very good. All right.
Oh my gosh. Well, and so what else? Oh, Josh Bell. We got to talk about Josh Bell.
I know. So crazy. Okay, so the Nats come off a World Series win and laid a big fat egg for 60 games.
Super egg.
And I mean, if ever there was a championship hangover, it was the Nats in 2020. Woof.
At least it was shortened.
Absolutely. Woof.
Woof.
Man. But now they come out and they're like, well, there's this Josh Bell guy. Maybe we should get back to our winning ways. We've recovered. And so I'm curious if that's just the first of a few moves that we're going to see. Like, who knows? Maybe they'll come in at the 11th hour and offer Trevor Bauer a whole bunch of money and be like, hey, you're going to be our new guy.
They will.
Because we're not going to extend Max Scherzer. So, I mean,
maybe they will.
I don't know. It's definitely an interesting move.
So, okay, so because Josh Bell signed a 2-year deal?
I think that's what it was. I'll have to double check it.
Something like that. Short.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, wow, that's short for such a young guy with all this potential. So my question to you is, Brad, is this a stepping stone situation for Josh Bell? Are we going to see him in a third team in the next handful of years? Or are they going to try and literally try to win with Josh Bell and whomever else they can bring on? And he kind of like finds a home there.
Well, here's the thing. It's not like they have a bunch of crappy players. Right? They still have Steven Strasburg. They still have Juan Soto, who is like, I mean, he was in the MVP conversation this year. And I mean, he wasn't the Juan Soto he was of 2 years ago, which was, saying something, but he was still an MVP candidate this year, and I think he will continue to be because people have compared him to. I want to say they've compared him to Ted Williams with his plate discipline. If he can maintain that with his power, I mean, that's a guy who can anchor that lineup, and if they can build around him, I mean, if you've got Soto and Bell batting back to back, come on now. I mean, you've got to find a third guy to protect Bell, and that's it. That's not a good trip to the heart of the order for the opposition.
No.
So,
what are you thinking? 2, 3, 4, something like that. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, probably 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just one more piece that they're looking to put in place to compete in maybe not 2021. I don't know. They might get something together in 162 games. Who knows? That's what they did in 2019. But
sure.
But yeah, he could just be one more piece. And if they make a deal between now and the trade deadline, don't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, I think they're headed to the playoffs anyway with Josh Bell.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means or how far that'll go, but I could see that easily.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, because they still have Ryan Zimmerman's leadership in that clubhouse, so it's not like,
yeah,
it's like he's gone anywhere. And And to have him come in, have a guy like that come in to be able to give Josh Bell a day off, I feel like is pretty beneficial too.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Because you're not really having a major drop off in ability there.
No, for sure. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot about that deal, but when I saw it, I thought it was really interesting for the future of the Nats.
Yeah.
So, good on them.
Or they lay a couple of eggs and Josh is like, I'm out.
They could. It could. That's the way it could be. You know, because they traded for him, and I think he has from what I saw, it looks like he has another 2 years on his deal. But yeah, he could peace out,
something like that
at first chance if you really wanted to, if they were terrible.
Yeah.
And with that, I bet Juan Soto probably would too.
Well, if that's the way it goes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's an interesting one to watch. Interesting guy to watch this next year. And who knows it?
Baseball family, we want to hear from you though. Why don't you tell us what you're excited about? What trade deals or free agency hang-ups are really bothering you? Are you as bothered about this DJ LeMahieu thing as I am? Because I would just love to hear about it if you are. If it brings you joy, then I don't want to hear about it. So just leave me alone. But I heard Mike Farnes just reveling in my pain is what it was. That's what that was. Thanks, Mike. I can feel you all the way from Phoenix. Wow. He's so malevolent all the way out there.
Some of that might be mine too.
It's the heat. It's you. Oh, because you're there too.
Yeah.
You guys. So now there's like this epicenter of. Oh.
I think we're gonna start the anti-Yankees fan club out here. The Phoenix chapter. We'll meet monthly with a podcast episode. There we go. How about that?
See? Oh man, you got to do that. You just got to do that, and then come up with a name though.
Yeah.
The League of something.
The League of Extraordinary
And then I will
Yankee
come up
Haters.
with a podcast. There you go. That's perfect. And you're welcome. Also, I will do my own podcast monthly as a response.
Yes. Perfect. I love it.
The League of Extraordinary Yankees fans.
But hey, you know what? Speaking of
we got to do
podcasts, baseball family, we're not going to really unveil anything right now, but we do have some cool things coming down the pipe at you later this year. Probably once the season gets closer, we'll talk more about it, but we got some fun stuff coming at you this year. We're excited for 2021. We're excited for a full season of baseball, and we're excited to be able to bring you some fun new things. So stay tuned on that stuff. You can stay tuned here, and you can also stay tuned on social media as well.
And don't forget to jump on the shop at 9plusus.com. That's NINEPLUS.com, where you can get all the sick gear we're wearing all the time, like my perfect hat, which is absolutely perfect.
It is.
In case you didn't know. For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see that was tongue firmly in my cheek. For those of you listening only, we have a hat that actually says perfect. So
with a backwards K.
A reverse K, the backward K for, strikeouts. So anyway, it's super cool. Everybody loves it. Mm-hmm. You can jump on the shop and grab yourself one. It comes in a variety of colors. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Right on.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. You can leave us a review and rate us, especially on Apple Podcasts. I think that's the best place to do it. So if you could head on over there and do that, that would be great. Yeah. We'd greatly appreciate it. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch the podcast there. I actually put a link to the exact things that you see us wearing, hats, shirts, whatever you see us wearing and using on the podcast. Those are down in actually the comments on YouTube, so you can go shop those directly. Don't forget to drop us a line in the mailbag. We'd love to hear from you. Send us some questions, comments, concerns, snide remarks, whatever. If there's somebody you think we should get on the show, let us know, and we will do our best to get it done, because we have some awesome guests coming up this year that we have already lined up, recorded, and we're excited. We're really excited about it. Like I said, excited about everything that's coming up this year. And baseball family, thanks again for joining us. We will catch you next week.